It was a cold, rainy evening in November when Michael started his new overnight shift as a security guard at St. Clair's Hospital in rural Pennsylvania. He had taken the job mostly for extra income, but he'd heard rumors about the hospital's dark past, stories of patients who had died mysteriously, corridors that echoed with footsteps long after the staff left, and whispers that seemed to come from nowhere. Michael didn't believe in ghosts, but the idea of a haunted hospital intrigued him. The first few hours passed uneventfully. Michael made his rounds, checked the locked doors, and monitored the cameras from the security office. The hospital was nearly empty. Only the ICU and emergency wing were active, and the night staff moved quickly through the hallways. Still, the silence of the unoccupied floors was oppressive. Every echo of his footsteps sounded louder than it should. Around 1 a.m., Michael noticed something strange on the surveillance monitors. A figure appeared at the end of the hallway on the second floor. An elderly woman in a hospital gown, her hair disheveled. At first, he thought it was a nurse who had wandered into view, but the hall had been empty just minutes before. He zoomed the camera, and the figure vanished. The hallway was empty when he physically checked it. Shaking his head, he tried to dismiss it as fatigue, but then the phone in the security office rang. The caller ID showed no number. He answered, and all he could hear was a faint, sorrowful whisper repeating the same word: "Help." Michael's pulse quickened. He hung up, thinking it must be a prank call, though he knew no one else was in the building. Trying to focus, he continued his rounds. As he passed the old wing of the hospital, a section closed for renovations, he felt an icy chill. The air smelled faintly of antiseptic, but there was an undertone of decay he couldn't identify. Then he heard it, the sound of footsteps, slow and deliberate, echoing from the far end of the corridor. Michael froze. The hall was supposed to be completely closed off. His flashlight illuminated peeling paint, dusty floors, and the remnants of old hospital beds, but nothing moved. The footsteps continued, growing louder, then stopped abruptly behind him. Michael spun around, flashlight shaking in his hand. No one was there. He tried to call the security office on his radio, but the channel was dead. The footsteps started again, this time from the stairwell, accompanied by a low, mournful moan that seemed to come from all directions. Against his better judgment, he cautiously climbed the stairs to the second floor. The hall was empty, yet he could feel a presence, a heavy, sorrowful energy pressing down on him. At the end of the hallway, the same elderly woman appeared, standing silently. Her eyes were hollow, her face pale and twisted in anguish. Michael blinked, and she vanished. A cold wind swept through the corridor, slamming a door behind him. Panic set in, and he ran back to the stairwell, only to find a wheelchair sitting in the middle of the hall, slowly spinning in a circle. As if pushed by invisible hands, he reached the security office and locked the door behind him, trying to calm his racing heart. That's when the monitors flickered and a live feed showed the hallway again. The woman was there, kneeling by the wheelchair, rocking back and forth while whispering, "Please, help me." Michael's hands trembled. He called the night supervisor, who promised to send someone immediately, but no one came. Minutes stretched like hours. On the live feed, the woman rose and turned directly toward the camera. Her face contorted in despair, and then she disappeared. The rest of the night passed in tense silence. Michael didn't leave the security office until dawn. When the day staff arrived, the hospital seemed normal again. Empty halls, no signs of disturbance, no wheelchair in the middle of the hall. Even the old wing appeared quiet and undisturbed. Michael resigned the next week. He never returned to St. Clair's, but he often wondered about that elderly woman. He later learned from an old nurse that the wing he had entered had once been a maternity ward. A patient, a woman who had lost her baby under mysterious circumstances, had died there decades ago. Staff claimed her spirit still wandered the halls, seeking help for the child she lost. To this day, Michael avoids the hospital, and when he hears the faint sound of footsteps in empty corridors, even in his dreams, he can't help but remember the night he came face to face with the hospital ghost at St. Clair's.